Every time I do an episode called the McBride Collection, I'm going to dive into my friend's collection that he gave me. He's a very good friend of mine. I learned so much from him. There's a little over 170 albums consisting of classic rock, prog rock, jazz, art rock, and a few other surprises in there. So what I want to do is dive into the record collection, and what I'm doing is going through the album, looking at it, kind of grading it, adding it to my Discogs collection, and then also listening to the record and pulling up information on the band and learning as I go. Everything is near mint. I've never seen this many albums in such a consistent condition, in such excellent condition. DC, I'm very honored and excited to share with you guys the McBride collection. Today I'm just going to get into 2 albums, and then I'm going to probably group these together and work through more than that for a video. But if you're interested, hang in there. This is an outstanding record collection from my music mentor, McBride. I have a little intro, splash intro I'm going to put in front of each episode, so that way anybody that's new to this series can kind of see what it's about. So the first 2 records I want to get started with is Johnny Winter and. This is a rockin' album. This is just great classic rock. And it was really a surprise to me. I think I underestimated Johnny Winter. And, of course, a lot of people have respect for Johnny Winter, Edgar Winter. And, but getting into this album, and this is the only one, talking about the McBride collection, this is the only one with a little bit of ring wear on the top and the bottom. But other than that, it's just in beautiful condition. This is on the Columbia label, Columbia Red label. The vinyl is practically perfect. And when I dropped the needle on this, I was just jamming. Must have listened to it 2-3 times in a row. Just kept the tone arm on repeat on my automatic turntable upstairs. And pipe the music outside, so I can enjoy some of the some music outside. And ooh, I almost forgot about that. I'm gonna bring that up in a second. But anyway, Johnny Winter and Johnny Winter got together with these guys, which is Derringer. Let me see here. We got Rick Derringer, Randy Hobbs, and Randy Z on drums. And if you know these guys, these are pretty much the McCoys. Hang On Sloopy. This is the McCoys with Johnny Winter. And they went on tour like that for a while too. So you're looking at the McCoys with Johnny Winter. So that was another thing I learned about this album that was really cool with Rick Derringer. So that was just really neat. And I guess I'll go away. The first track is great. Ain't That a Kindness? I kind of moved past that one, but just the whole first side. Oh yeah, Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo. You have the original version of Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo with Rick Derringer, and it's a really cool version. It's a lot different than the version that you hear later on. So it's a really cool version of that. And just both sides of this album are just outstanding. If you want to jam, this is Johnny Winter, and I think it holds up today. So go out and pick it up, or if you see it in the thrift store, you should be able to pick it up for very little. So great album. Don't know if you'll find it in as good a condition as this though. And before I forget, along with the McBride collection also came a Zero Stat pistol. It's an anti-static pistol. If you're not familiar with these, I want to get the Zero Stat 3. I think this is an original. This is I think it's made in the UK. And there's some directions on the back on how to use it. But what this is it discharges any static that builds up on your album. So here it is in the original box too. So I thought that was really cool. But you hold the album up, and I wanted to try this on camera with the felt stuck to it. You know how if you have a felt mat, it gets stuck to it. But you slowly pull the trigger on the gun here, and then you slowly release it, and it discharges any of the static that builds up on the album. So Zero Stat, for you guys that don't know, and for those that you do, this is really cool, huh? So yeah, kind of neat to have. I haven't got it to work properly yet, so I'm going to keep messing around with it. I think it works, but not dramatically, to where I wanted the felt mat, like I said, to drop off when you shoot the anti-static gun on it. So, all right, so in the McBride collection, he gave me a lot of Beatles albums, and I'm not going to feature them all at once in one video. I'm going to spread them out. But I really wanted to highlight this one. This is the Beatles White Album, and I was really excited about this. It was probably the one I'm most excited about of the whole collection, because I've really been looking for one of these and hunting, and just the price was just too much everywhere I went. But just really ecstatic to get probably a first pressing. I'll talk about that in a second, but it has the embossed Beatles, and it has the number down in the corner. Again, like I mentioned in the little intro to the collection, I talk about how he used to tape the cellophane to the front of the cover so it would protect the album, maybe not knowing or not having the foresight to know that there would be damage along the side. But like I said, the front of the how often do you see a clean copy of the White Album this clean? I mean, it's just outstanding. Take a look at the video that I'm going to overlay here while I talk about it. But double LP set. It has the poster. It also has 3 of the 4 pictures. It is missing linen. And the vinyl on both LPs are just fantastic on both sides. And I just sat down last weekend, and just listened to the whole thing all the way through. And it just sounds awesome, and it's just a great album. I don't need to go into too much detail about it, but I will talk a little bit about the pressing. So guys that are going to tune out, thank you for watching. Thanks for checking into the McBride collection. I have a lot more to show you, but I wanted to break this down a little bit for you guys that don't know, or the new collectors out there that are trying to find just the right copy of the Beatles White Album. Man, is it confusing. I got out there and found 1 or 2 different websites that helped clear it up for me. But there are 3 or 4, 1, 2, 3, maybe 6 different types of numbered pressings. On some websites and in the record collector book, anything with a number pressed on it, stamped on it, a number stamp, is a first press. However, if you go into Discogs and start digging up on eBay, you'll see that there's actually a first and a second pressing. And the way you tell is, this is actually a second pressing according to all the details when you break it down. But this is number 217138, or 2617138, and I'm just happy to have it in my collection in such great condition. I've seen some really beat up copies go for quite a bit. If you look inside, one way to tell if it's a second press is to look inside, and you see right here it's got the SWB0101 in the corner. That's one way to tell. And another quick way to tell, if you're in a record store and you just want to take a look at the vinyl, is on side number 1, you have the continuing story of Bungalow Bill. If it just says Bungalow Bill, you have yourself a first press. If it says the continuing story of Bungalow Bill, side A, track 6, you've got a second pressing, which I do. And then from there, you can go and break down the different number stamps on the front, and you can also start to look up the different misspellings. There was quite a different, there's an array of misspellings. This one has raccoon spelled incorrectly on that song. And if the more misspellings you have on your labels on the first press, the more valuable it is, or on the second press too. So take a closer look at your White Album, dig around on the internet and see how much value yours has. I'm not really certain about the value of this. Doesn't matter to me because it's not for sale. But I imagine this is probably around the $80 range, and maybe because of the vinyl so clean, maybe closer to $100. However, you do notice it has a little bit of spots on it. I don't know if that's mold, but it does have a little bit of discoloration there on those spots, and it does have the tape residue along the edges. I don't know if I can clean that or not. I'm not going to try. I'm just going to leave it as is because the front of this is immaculate, and the most important thing, the vinyl is perfect and it sounds great. So just really excited to have this in my collection. Thanks again, McBride, and thanks for inspiring this series. And you're going to give me something to do all summer. I may not even need to buy any more records this summer, right? But we'll have to see about that. So yeah, the Zero Stat, the Johnny Winter, and check it out, guys. And the first Beatles album that I'm going to cover is the White Album. So much more to show you guys in this collection. Hang in there, and we'll see you next time. Take care, BC.